The Lakers game. What would have been kind of the emphasis coming off of that game when you guys went on the last couple of days?
Just worried about us, executing. Worried about both sides of the ball for us, and it's a bad showing, but we got a game today, so that's the most important thing is today.
It seems you've looked really comfortable while other guys are figuring stuff out. How comfortable are you in this offense compared to being in OKC for years and knowing your role?
We're just playing basketball. The ball's gonna find the best shot. The ball's gonna find space. The ball's gonna find. I just let the game dictate how I play, and it's always been like that for me. And I just try to shoot good shots, and just be efficient with my shots and knock them down. So, but also try to move and do everything within the team concept. That's always what I've been about. So I'm still learning.
There's such a big disparity in the 2 losses to the 4 wins and the team's 3-point shooting against a team like New Orleans, where you have a big guy with Anthony Davis. Just how much more does a 3-point shooting come into play for this team?
For us?
Yeah, against New Orleans specifically and what they
when our threes aren't falling, I think we still have to figure out ways to score, figure out ways to get to the free throw line. But Clay, I don't know what he shot last game. Steph didn't make a 3, and they got a lot of wide open ones. You just got to live with them and move on. For us, hopefully we knock them down tonight. We've had a great practice yesterday, so hopefully we can build on that and start knocking down some threes.
Fight off wanting to keep shooting threes when you guys aren't hitting, just to kind of break through.
Well, that's why we got those 2 guys are the best shooters in the world because they don't have a conscience. They miss and they can get hot really quick. You seen it this year with Steph against Portland. Started off slow and just got flaming hot. Clay did it against New Orleans last time, got hot. Did it in the preseason, all preseason. So you got to let the guys be who they are, man. They'll figure the game out. They'll figure out how to be effective and how to score. And, that's why they're veterans. That's why they're all-stars. So, sometimes you can switch it up, get to the rim a few times, but also just keep being aggressive and do what you do.
Kevin, you've used that word learning, over the recent weeks that you're still learning. What are you specifically still picking up on, and are you feeling more and more comfortable and in a flow each day?
Well, I don't think I've seen you in OKC before, but I always use that term, always learning, always trying to get better with the game. I've been saying that for a while, and it's always smaller nuances I can find that help me get better as a player. I've been saying that for years. So just trying to learn, where I could be more effective scoring the ball. I miss a lot of shots I feel like I can make, so figuring out why I'm missing those shots. And how I can rebound better, how I can defend better. So my mind's always thinking about how I can figure out, how I can get to the next level. And with the help of coaches and teammates, I can get there soon.
I guess specifically in a new system was what I was getting at. I mean, are you feeling each
Just
day?
had to let you know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, just continue to put in new plays, put in new concepts. Just trying to figure out the movement and where I should be and the different sets, and that just comes with a new offense. That's just the game. That's just natural. It just comes with a new offense. Always trying to figure out, how you can find an easy point or easy, basket for someone else, or a cutting lane to draw 2 so another guy can score. Just trying to figure out the small things within the game that you don't really get to see if you don't, if you're not really watching for it. So I'm still learning that part of the game.
What do you think of what Anthony Davis has been doing the past couple of weeks?
He's been, we played against him second game of the year, and they give him the ball a lot. He's got to create. They have a lot of guys that are injured that create for him a lot, but now they're having Tim Frazier, who's been playing extremely well, but isn't used to being a starting point guard, especially playing with Anthony Davis. You can tell he's getting more comfortable, but having him to start the season is an adjustment. And he's adjusting really well. He's playing well off AD, but they're not used to playing with each other. Him and Drew and Tyreek are used to playing with each other. So not having those guys definitely put them at a disadvantage. But they have new guys there with Etuan Moore and Langston Galloway and Buddy Hill, those guys, they're getting used to it. They're getting used to the grind. They're getting used to playing off of Anthony Davis. So it's going to take some time. But he's been doing a great job of just keeping them in games every single night and playing extremely hard.
Your guy, Lance, obviously you've been around the league. You know how this business works, man. He gets injured and he's wave after that to go with a wrong. You got any thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Asked that man to take a non-guarantee, which he did. He fought his way up, played extremely well to start the year. Unfortunately, he got injured. He waived him. That's just the nature of the beast. And I'm sure Lance he's not upset about it. That's just how it goes sometimes. But sometimes business ain't fair, and I didn't think that was fair. But hey, who am I to speak on it? I wish they'd have done him a little better. But he did everything you asked him to do, man. And you as a player, you can appreciate that. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Wish him well in the surgery, and hopefully we'll see him back out there on the court.
That's something probably I would say a lot of fans probably don't get. Like when you guys get to make your decision, and your free agency, and then that's something that Lance can't control. But nobody never criticizes.
Like I said, it's business. They got all the power at the end of the day. So, can't really criticize it, but it's still, it's still, how I feel about it may be different from how someone else feel about it. So I can't really speak on it that way. But, wish they'd have kept him on board. But you still gotta conduct the business and handle the everyday day-to-day stuff with the team. So that's just how it is in the league. But I wish him a speedy recovery, man. I hope he gets back on the court. He's playing extremely well for him. So I hope to see him back out there on the NBA floor.